Morning everybody. So this morning I am wearing blue, and the reason I'm wearing blue is because I'm going to be talking about living. And finally, if you've been watching my videos over the past couple of months, you'll notice that I've been in a bit of a funk, but I'm back. I've actually come back. Saturday morning, it was like the clouds parted and everything changed. I got goosebumps when I said that, because it's been horrible for a couple of months and everybody's noticed it. But you know what? I had to be honest, and I had to tell everybody what was going on, because I'm sure it was happening to other people as well. So I want to give you a bit of an idea about how I think I came through it. But before we do that, let me talk about the colours very briefly, as I always do. So you've got the 3 green behaviours: thinking, communicating and improving. Those are the essence of leading, because they make things better for you, your people and your organisation if you have them in your diary in the right proportion. Then there are the 2 amber behaviours: monitoring and directing. They're the essence of managing. They will stop things from going backwards. Yeah, risk management, making sure things don't go... I was going to say something then. Wrong. Then there's red, doing, and brown, floating. Those are the things, if you have them in your diary too much, could take you, your people and your organisation backwards, make things worse. But then there's another one, which is blue. And blue's what I'm wearing today. And blue is about recharge. It's called living. This is where you get your time to get your mojo back and make sure that you don't burn out in the first place. Something I know all too well over the last couple of months. So, as I said, those watching my videos over the last 2 months maybe will have noticed there had been a distinct change in my tone. Many people had noticed it, both personal friends and professional acquaintances and colleagues. And they were really worried for me. And do you know what? I was really worried for me as well. Don't know what on earth went wrong, what was happening, but it just seemed like about 8 weeks ago, I needed to just switch off. I was really, really struggling. Personally, I was fine. I still had the mojo to do everything I needed to do. I didn't feel hopeless in any way. It didn't feel like depression. It just felt like, I just can't be bothered to go above and beyond. I had enough energy to do the things I needed to do, but nothing beyond that. And for me, that's a really unusual thing to have happen. And to tell you the truth, my biggest fear was that it would never come back. And that for me would have been a complete nightmare. I would have hated that. But what I eventually decided to do, through the help of a number of people, Rachel Savage, Amanda Livermore, our conversation was brilliant, and others, I'm sorry if I don't mention you, but I spoke to a number of people. And what I realised is that as scary as it was, that if I just downed tools and stopped working, that it would never come back, I realised it was really the only thing I could do. Do the very bare minimum and then give myself time. And I watched a lot of box sets, which really only gave me a slight respite. It was a rest from it. It took my mind off thinking about it. But I want to give you a sense as to what I'd learned from it, because over that time, there was somebody had coined a phrase. I don't know who it was that coined the phrase, but the person that I saw talk about it was a guy called Adam Grant. You might have seen him on TED. There's a lot of posting on LinkedIn. And the word had been used to coin this feeling of, I can't be bothered. And it was called languishing. And the antidote, even though actually I'll put a link to Adam Grant's TED talk that talks about this and how he came through it. And he used Mario Kart, believe it or not. And when you watch the video, you'll understand why it worked for him. Is that he said that, watching box sets kind of is okay, because that's all you can do. I mean, that's what you need to do to kind of get through. It in itself is not a cure for it. In fact, the cure for it is flow. And creating this sense of meaningfulness, distraction, and some element of mastery, something that you can do. And the biggest thing that I realised from this, you've heard me talk about the swimming a lot over the last 2 months, and I think it has been the thing that saved me from getting much worse, is that swimming is something that you can't really do unless you're thinking about it predominantly, because it's a technical sport, and if you don't do it, you probably drown. So what I realised is that, when I have my blue behaviour, I used to have break in the morning, break in the afternoon, my lunchtime, my exercise, and walking the dog at the end of the day. And only some of those things really took my mind off work, because the one thing you don't get when you own your own business is the ability to relax and stop thinking about work. So what I realised is that When I was getting the respite was when I was swimming. And I thought to myself, do you know what? I think I need to be a lot more mindful about the things that I fill my blue behavior with. So instead of having a break in the morning and a break in the afternoon, which is 30 minutes and 30 minutes, so I not only make it, but I drink it as well, which is great. What I realized is that I used to play the piano every day. I didn't play it for long, but I played it. And the thing is, with piano, you can't play the piano unless you're thinking about the piano. Because again, it sounds a little bit Les Dawson, God rest his soul. But the thing is that I thought to myself, when Adam Grant was talking about flow, and he was talking about this thing that gets you engaged in something else, and I thought, it takes your mind off everything else that's going on, because when you own your business, you can't turn off. So I thought, well, what I'll do is I've got the swimming, which takes my mind off. What I need to do is I also need to start playing the piano again. So when I have my break, make the cup of coffee, make the cup of tea, and then just go and sit at the piano for 15 or 20 minutes. And don't necessarily play something play something you're learning, because you have to read the music, you have to think about it, and it basically stops you from thinking about work. It gets you to switch off. Meditation would be a great way of doing it. Meditation, it's not my bag, it's not where I go to. It's great at night in bed to kind of take your mind off things, but in the day, I don't really want to do that. I want to do something that takes my mind off and I don't have to think about it. So for me, that's playing the piano. So here's the thing, this is what I've learned, is that in order to avoid this situation going forward, I've been a lot more mindful with the things that I fill my blue behavior with. It's not enough just to not plan to work. I think you have to plan to do something that is far more meaningful in a different way. And I think if I had done that a lot earlier, it would have stood me in a lot better stead. I'm still going to be going swimming with my exercise. I'm now training to do the London Triathlon again next year. But this time I'm actually going to aim for a decent time. That's where I'm going to be filling my exercise. So running, cycling and swimming. And I will be doing that in a with great intent. But I'm going to be playing the piano. And I think reading would be a great one to do as well. You can't think about anything else while you're reading because you just wouldn't take anything in. So that's the thing I was going to say to you guys. If you're feeling a bit meh, give yourself a break, okay? Allow yourself to sit and watch 6 seasons of The Good Wife, as I have, over the last 6 to 8 weeks. There's nothing wrong with that. Do the very minimum of what you have to do. Give yourself a little bit of respite. But start to insert some stuff in your day that gives you a break mentally as well, okay? And gives you something more deliberate to focus on. Watching a program just gives you escapism. It doesn't really give you anything more than that. Playing the piano, swimming, you're trying to master a skill, and that's one of the key things. So like I said, I will put a link below to Adam Grant's TED Talk. I think it's really, really good. And yeah, that's it. I actually feel like I'm back at last. So yeah, that's it for now. Have a great day. Have a great week. Thanks for sticking with me.